Alright guys, welcome back to Midwest Whitetail, the Heartland show. I'm kicking off my 2022 season by hunting down here in Missouri. It's September 15th, and although the temperature is a little warm today, we're all nestled into a couple cedar trees. We were actually in here plenty early tonight. You know, I didn't know how much work it was going to take, and actually we originally intended on kind of moving around a couple trail cameras and stuff and doing a little bit of work, but we were just trying to be as less intrusive as possible, and just ended up elected to just go right up in the tree. So we got a long sit tonight, and although I've never hunted down here in Missouri, you know, this is kind of part of my off season. You know, I've been able to kind of manicure a relationship with my neighbors and kind of get permission down here in Missouri. So this is another way, a bonus of extending my season a little bit here and kicking it off a little bit early for the 2022 as well. But a lot of work's gone into even just me being down here at this farm, you know, hanging stands, you know, prepping for this season to kind of kick off early. But also at my farm that we have in Iowa, Area 52, we put a lot of work into it this off season, a lot of sweat equity. And one of the big themes for Southeast Iowa has been the drought. You know, there were several periods of time where I think at one point on our farm, we went 45 days with only about 3/10 of rain, which I don't care how good you are, you know, at food plots or, you know, growing them or anything like that. Like, that just doesn't work for a lot of those brassica plots. But fortunately, here in the last week and a half, we got a really nice 2-inch rain, you know, where hopefully it'll kind of kick them off, where I feel confident following that we're going to have, you know, at least some green plots to follow up with. But another big project in the off season for me is that we actually did a fairly extensive logging project at the farm. And, you know, I did a select cut is what we did. You know, not really for the financial side of it. Obviously they have value, but doing it for the, you know, management of the property. I wanted to thicken up some bedding areas, let some sunlight hit the floor. And so I think that really has the opportunity of really changing my farm going into the future and really just continuing to invest back into it. But I'm excited to show you guys what happens here tonight, and I think that, you know, having a different property like this, it's always fun to, you know, get on new properties and kind of try to figure them out and do that chess match. But we'll show you whatever we see tonight, and I know there's also going to be some youth hunters getting out over the next couple days in Iowa as that kind of kicks off, so I wish those guys luck, and I'm excited to get the 2022 season kicked off.
Welcome back to Midwest Whitetail. It is the afternoon of September 22nd, and we got Carson out here this evening for his second youth hunt of the year. We started last weekend. It was a pretty good night. Me, Cooper, Donovan, and Carson all got out, and Carson and Nick were actually hunting in a blind not too far from me and Cooper, and they had a really good encounter with a solid buck, one of the bigger deer I had pictures of on that farm, but just couldn't make it happen. So we're back out here tonight, and we're actually on a farm that has freshly picked corn. They just finished picking this field yesterday, so as you guys know, fresh picked corn and deer usually works out pretty good. So I've actually got a couple cameras on this farm, but I have not checked them in a few weeks. They're just normal put out and leave cameras, not sell cameras. So I'm kind of gambling, but I know there's some really good deer in this area, a lot of younger bucks, and Carson, he's itching to get his hands on any kind of buck he can, or a doe. He's got a doe tag and a buck tag, so we got a good cold front, which makes me think they're going to be moving pretty good. They're already showing up on some cell cam pictures, but this morning they were moving awesome. It was like 50 some degrees this morning, which is a lot cooler. 2 days ago it was 95, so with any luck, we're going to have one of these deer step out tonight, and then Carson will get a crack at him and possibly get himself his first buck. But why don't you guys stick with us? It's about 6 o'clock. We got till 7:30, so plenty of time to make something happen. Before the deer get started moving here tonight, I wanted to update you guys a little bit on what my season's looking like this year. So Elizabeth and I have been working hard all summer getting food plots ready, and we got a few particular deer that I really think we got a good shot at killing. So I think one of the number one deer that I at least have history and a good pattern on is a deer that I call the short tine heavy 10. He was on a property actually not too far from here, and I was hunting him quite a bit last year. Me and Elizabeth actually made some sets early season, but he basically ended up on the farm that I've got. It's basically surrounded by water, almost like an island, little peninsula, but that deer was living in there all last year before shotgun season, and he was daylighting the food plot a lot. So I set up that food plot specifically for that deer this year, and what do you know, he showed back up this year, and He got a little bit bigger. He's just real short-tined, heavy, long beam 10-point, but that deer I'm really excited about. He actually showed up daylight this morning, so if he keeps that up, he might be a deer that we can get in on early season. With any luck, that plan will pan out, but there's also a couple other deer. If you guys can remember, there was a buck that Elizabeth hit last year in the shoulder the day before she shot her buck on November 7th, and that deer has shown back up this year, and he got a little bit bigger. He's just a nice 10-point, but he'd be a great deer to take, so that'll probably be another one that we're going after. But other than that, I've got a couple other deer on some satellite farms that are really nice. I've actually got a big 12 with the split G3, the same farm that Carson had that encounter with that really nice one last weekend. And that deer is, I believe, 5.5. I got some pictures of him last year and I thought he was 4, so he really made a pretty good jump, and he's honestly at the top of my hit list as long as I can keep a pattern on him. And then that farm's also got several other mature deer. But I'm excited, these temps are cooling, starting to feel like fall, so hopefully you guys can stick with us this fall and we'll bring you guys some good action. But we're going to go ahead and get quiet and keep your eyes out and hopefully get Carson his first buck tonight. You ready? Alright, let's see what happens. Alright guys, well, we just got back to the car, and as you guys could see, no luck tonight, but we still had fun. I think we ended up seeing a dozen deer or so. At one point we did have a couple coming our way, but unfortunately I think our wind started swirling there. Towards the end it died down to basically nothing. When we got there it was northeast out of about 10, which was perfect for that spot, but as it got dark, like a lot of times it does, that wind died. So I think a couple of them got onto us, but that just means we get to hunt another day. So we'll be out here pretty soon, hopefully next week again with the boys, hopefully, and get them on their first deer. But that's it for tonight, and I don't know if we'll be out this weekend at all, but if we are, we'll catch back up with you then. But if not, thank you guys for watching.
Alright guys, wanted to give you a quick update. It's just about 7:15 and it's been pretty quiet so far. We haven't seen any activity, but we can see quite a bit of property from where we're sitting at, so I feel pretty confident that if anything does come out in these beans tonight, that we're at least going to get eyes on it. It's just whether or not it's going to be a buck. I kind of said in the opening interview tonight, I really thought that we're really just hunting that last 30 minutes, and it's kind of proved to be true so far. We did have some activity on kind of the adjacent property where there's a lot of banging and clanging going around down there, and who knows if that affected deer movement or not, but we still have a little bit of time left here tonight, and I just think that there's still a chance that something might come out. But regardless, I do appreciate you guys joining us this week on the Heartland Show, and please tune in next Friday for the next episode.